What's up, dude? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be talking a teeny tiny bit about the rodeo community. So let's get into it. So my brother used to rodeo in high school. So for 3 years, we would spend almost every single weekend at a rodeo, a high school rodeo. It's a fun community. When everyone gets along, they get along. But it's also an extremely petty kind of community too. Like, it's a lot of girls. One time, I think there were 99 barrel racers signed up for a rodeo one time. It was a lot. That's when everyone left and went and took naps, unfortunately. Look, barrel racing is really cool, but only for a little bit. And then, like, after, 75 girls, it's like, okay. So, actually, when I was little, I used to start trying to, like, guess which girl would start knocking over barrels and then like which one, just because I was like, I need a way to make this a little bit more entertaining. Anyways, so the rodeo western community, I feel like people really feel like if you don't actually ride horse, if you don't live on a farm, if you don't ranch, that you really shouldn't be in the community. And it's like they try to say, oh, well, I have XYZ, 5 horses, I do da 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 da. So it's like I'm more of a Western, like I'm more of a cowgirl than you. I don't know. It's really weird, but they do seem to gatekeep a lot in the community, which is strange. But, anyways, so today, the two girls we're going to be talking about are Elva and Jadea. Now, Elva lives in Oklahoma. Jadea lives in Fort Smith. So, Jadea is 24 years old. Elva, I believe she's in that age range as well. So Oklahoma, Texas, those two states are right next to each other, so they're kind of lumped together almost. And so it makes sense that these two girls would see each other at a lot of rodeos, and just being in the same community, you get to know people. It's a small community, and like it's small, but it's not. But everyone seems to know everyone. Very strange. But Jadea, she is a woman of color and she rodeos. She's in the Western industry. She's an influencer. She's got a pretty good TikTok following. That's kind of like her job. Like, that's what she does. She also wrote a children's book, and she was also the first black rodeo queen. If you Google it, her name pops up. I could have swore, though, that there was another gal, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe Judea is actually who I'm thinking of. But she's very outspoken about being a minority in that industry. In which case, yep, she is. There's not a ton of people of color in the rodeo community. There's getting to be a lot more than there had been. Actually, a lot of Hispanic folks have started coming to the US and rodeoing, which is really cool. They're really good at it. So, I don't know, it's like she is part of a minority, but minorities are starting to make up a pretty decent chunk of that industry, so fantastic. But Judea has modeled for different brands like Ariat and Wrangler, I think even maybe Cinch. And I know for a fact that Elva has modeled for Ariat as well. That's a pretty big brand in Western wear, I guess. Not I guess, but like that's one of the bigger brands, like Ariat, Wrangler. Those two are kind of the two you think of. So Judea being so outspoken, she's definitely been the center of a lot of criticism. And I guess there was one controversy about that she was part of, where she was claiming that some people were being racist, which I'm not like confirming or denying that. I'm just saying that's one little controversy that she had been a part of.
I mean, to you it's not important, but to me it's important that people say my name right, because that's my name. My name is Judea, and that's what I want to be called, Judea.
Well, that's just really interesting to me because
I say all of that to say thank you, Tyler Killajack. Honestly, an honor for me to see that one of my barrel racers was Elva Steinfeld. I never would have thought that Elva would sign up for my road.
But being so outspoken, I suppose, you are, because you have so much more to say, you are subject to a lot more criticism as well. Now, Elva, she is in school. I believe she's going to be a veterinarian, actually, which is very cool. Like I said, around the same age as Judea. She does barrel racing, and she has just gotten into breakaway roping as far as my understanding goes. So breakaway is like, there's a calf in the chute, you're standing back in that little box area that they have for you, And the calf goes out. You have to give it so much of a head start. Then you can go rope it. Your rope unties from your saddle, like it flies off. And they time you. That's what it is. Breakaway is actually, like, it's incredibly fast. Sometimes it'll be like 3.2 seconds. Like, it's insanely fast. Really fun to watch, though. But anyway, so like I said, I guess that Elva has just started breakaway roping. So now in Fort Smith, there was a rodeo called the Bass Reeves Rodeo, and this year was the first year that it's been held. Bass Reeves, he was a pretty prominent figure in rodeo, and he was a man of color, so, you know, a very big deal. And so that community, the people of color, really see him as like a big deal. And, you know, like they were represented, you know, way back years ago with this Bass Reeves guy, which is really cool. So here is the news clip talking about the rodeo.
Down in Fort Smith, the first Bass Reeves Rodeo was held at the K. Rogers Park this evening, hosted by the city. This is a fun one. The event for families to come and learn the importance of Western culture and African American history and celebrate Arkansas native and Western pioneer Bass Reeves. During the rodeo, spectators got the chance to see contestants compete in bull riding, calf roping, and steel wrestling. Rodeo producer Bobo Foster says this rodeo is a great history lesson.
There are African American cowboys, and where it all originated from. So maybe the kids that's not fortunate, that maybe they can reach out or, you know, and get introduced to it.
Foster also mentioned that they hope to continue to have more rodeos in the future and in other cities soon.
Now here's the kicker. A lot of the videos that are part of this whole controversy have been deleted. So Judea supposedly had made a video bashing another rodeo like production company for not helping her put on this rodeo because she was a woman, as she supposedly said. So I'm gonna play you guys a video of a different creator explaining this whole drama because they saw it happen. I unfortunately did not. I really wish that I had. And of course, this isn't a huge community where people are saving videos, so they haven't even like been re-uploaded. I can't find them, the ones that Judea made. So just know that when she's talking about somebody who supposedly like put this rodeo on and then was bashing this production company that didn't help her put on the rodeo and then bashing other people that went to this rodeo, they're talking about Judea. And then the person that is has a pretty widely known like reputation or is like respectable in the Western rodeo community, that is Elva. So here is that snippet from that video.
Imagine being an influencer, a Western influencer or whatever, producing a whole entire rodeo, not putting your name on it at all. Like not in the flyer, not in the entry, not anywhere, not advertising it on your socials at all, even though you have like 600,000 followers. Okay, just keep following me. And then somebody that you don't like, another influencer goes to your rodeo, okay? And you're going to take pictures of her, circle her rig like 10 times. Not to mention, when you showed up for Slack, you looked like you were dressed as one of the people from the People of Walmart website. I cannot imagine producing a rodeo and wearing, like, pajamas with no bra to go to even Slack. Like, I'd be looking like Fallon Taylor does in Slack. Maybe not as colorful, but, like, if I was producing it, you get my point. Okay, so you're following me here, kind of like an influencer produced a rodeo, and all of this happened. Someone showed up that she didn't like. Okay, so the first post after this whole rodeo is over, keep in mind, it was super successful. The first post isn't like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this. I'm so proud of myself. Instead, it is completely bashing somebody who's like has a pretty good reputation for producing great rodeos, for like not helping you produce your rodeo because you're a woman. And, like, probably bringing race into it. I don't even remember. And then also saying in that video, the first video that you post as an influencer after producing this whole rodeo, like, mind blown. In that same video, you're like, oh, yeah, Elva showed up, you know, like, thanks, Elva, for contributing. Like, you didn't catch your calf, but, you know, thanks for coming. She also did barrels, I think. I'm pretty sure she did barrels. But all you want to say is that she didn't catch her calf, which... Can you blame her? Have you seen the video of the calf running out to the left? I think it was the left, or like I mean, not to mention, I'm pretty sure she was like just getting started doing breakaway too, or like she is, because she's been a barrel racer. I don't know how long she's been doing breakaway, and even if she had been doing breakaway all of her life, sometimes you just don't catch. I don't know, if it was me, I would just be happy that I got my horse in the box and I was out there trying. And then after somebody comments like, who's Elva, because it's Elva that she doesn't like, you make a whole video saying like, oh, it's this girl that always talks down on me, and I never have said anything about her, but she does this that I don't like. But you know, she ran in slack, so she wasn't a part of the actual rodeo. Slack is a part of the rodeo, it's just not in the perf. Me, if I produced this whole rodeo, I'd be like, heck yeah, I had enough people to have a slack. Like, that's awesome. I had enough entry. I just don't understand, like, people wanting to make drama for views. Like, she didn't know that you were hosting the rodeo, Jedediah, however you pronounce your freaking name. She just wanted to go run her horse. And you're gonna, like, I just can't imagine, first of all, producing a whole rodeo and, like, that being my first post after it. But I also can't imagine somebody coming to a rodeo that I produced and, you know, paying their entry fees and stalking them the entire time they're there, like, circling their trailer, taking pictures of them as they're on their horse, and, like, looking like this at her while you're, like, no bra in your pajamas for slack. I just don't understand. Like, I legitimately... Are you trying to trash your name? Because the rodeo world, the horse world in general, everybody that rides horses, it's a small world. People know each other. Like, are you trying to make nobody show up for the next rodeo that you produce?
So yeah, supposedly Judea had made a video kind of bashing, mocking Elva because she missed her calf in the breakaway event, and she was also part of the slack. Now, how do I explain slack? So in this rodeo, they had so many slots available for contestants. Well, all those slots got filled up, so then they had people enter slack. So that means that they either perform on a different day or perform at a separate location. They're kind of like the overflow. Now, supposedly Judea said that they weren't actually part of the rodeo. That is not true. If you're part of the slack, you are 100% part of the rodeo. So then, and then it kind of, I don't know how exactly it came out, but supposedly people had heard that Judea was like taking walks and stuff around Elva's horse trailer and her pickup, and supposedly she made like 10 laps around, like just walking around, watching them, kind of seeing what Elva and her friend were like doing. Elva does finally make a video. Also, I really hope I'm pronouncing her name. I was positive it was pronounced Elva, but now of course that doesn't sound right. Anyways, so she finally did make a video response. So here is her take on the whole situation.
I'm gonna keep this short and sweet because I have better things to do. Why was your name not on the flyer that you essentially promoted and is the founder and owner of? Why was your name nowhere near on any of the flyers? And why was it that a week ago when we called in for the rodeo and we asked who was producing the rodeo, your name was not one time mentioned? So not on the flyer nor mentioned it during call-in was your name anywhere affiliated with this rodeo. Probably because you really didn't have anything to do with the rodeo. Why did you only take credit for it after the rodeo was over? This is my guess. If you actually were the owner and founder of the rodeo, my guess was your name tanks everything that it's on. So, being a great PR move, your name was not associated with this rodeo if you were the owner and founder of it, because you knew that if you had been associated with it prior to entries and call-ins, that no one would want anything to do with it because your name screams untrustworthy. So either it was that, or you're still being delulu and crazy because you think that just because there's a rodeo where you're from, it's your rodeo. Second, thank you for pointing out I missed my calf. I have no shame about it. Posted it on several of my platforms. This is my run. I missed my calf. The calf went through my loop. Didn't get my horse stopped in time. You posted the video on your platform. That's great. I have no shame about it. I tried. I was out there trying. One of the only few influencers that actually try to rodeo. And lastly, Slack is a part of the rodeo. It's just not a part of the performance. If you need any tips on how to be a producer, let me know. I can do your job for you because I know how a rodeo actually is supposed to be ran. Because I rodeo, unlike some people that claim they do. And I regret no statements that I have ever made on the podcast said about you, because I know that at the end of the day, I was just speaking the truth and what I knew. I'm not going to open my mouth and say it unless I'm going to stand by it. And I stand by it, regardless of whatever crazy delusions you got going on in your head. I stand by what I said, whether that makes me nasty and a bad attitude. You can say what you want about me, but I don't play the victim card when I don't get my way. I don't do all the nasty things that you do. And at the end of the day, I'm not the one that started this. I'm not the one that came on social media and was trying to bash something. You're the one that started drama with your own rodeo. That's on you, girl. I was just there competing, regardless of whose it was. And I had a great time. Thanks for putting on that rodeo, if you even did. Oh, and would you please send me the pictures you took of me while I was in the arena competing in the barrels and the breakaway? I don't know what you planned on using those pictures for, but I want to know if I can post them. So would you send them to me? And did you get a good look at my rig as you circled my trailer 10 or 15 different times? Had fun seeing you. Send them to me. Thanks.
And then she posts a video where she had actually gotten a video, like, snippet of Judea walking around her horse trailer. So here's that.
I don't have the keys for it.
Are y'all doing all right? We're doing good. How about you?
Coming to my rodeo.
Oh, absolutely.
So really, it's just a bunch of girls being petty and nitpicky at each other. But I will say that Elva had a really good point that if Judea actually did put on this rodeo, which there was some question about that, they were like, some people were saying, okay, just because it's in your town doesn't mean that you helped like put it on. Or others were kind of saying, okay, so how many people did you have to bother to do something in the rodeo so you could claim that you helped put it on, that you were one of the producers of it? And I will say, Elva does have a really good point. Her name was nowhere on the rodeo flyer. If you are like putting on a rodeo or producing it in some way, you're gonna put your name on the flyer. And Judea never once posted on her Instagram or TikTok about putting this rodeo on or advertising this rodeo. So if you're an influencer, you know what social media marketing can do to an event. It can really help push it and get a lot of people to attend. So I will say, very strange if she did put it on. Her name wasn't on the flyer and she never like advertised it on her socials. And then someone also said, okay, if you put the rodeo on, why didn't you compete in the rodeo? Which I'll say, you know, maybe she felt like, you know, say she did produce it. Maybe she just kind of felt like, oh, it would be in bad taste, or she wanted to do more behind the scenes type stuff, which would be totally valid, I think. But you know, I was just thinking, when people produce rodeos, the production company is really going to want to put their name on the poster to advertise what they can do. So if people come to the rodeo and see, oh, so-and-so produced it, wow, they're really good, I want to put on a rodeo in my area, hey, I'm going to go contact them or ask them questions. You know what I mean? It just makes sense. Anyways, that's kind of the gist of the situation. Oh, there was also another girl, Taylor, involved, but I can't figure out her last name, who she is, what she had to do with this whole situation. So we're just talking about Elva and Judea today. But that's pretty much it. That's the situation right now. If it develops into something else, or if I find like other videos that go along with this, I'll definitely do an update. But that is it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I'll be back on Monday with another video. Bye, guys.